Hi everyone, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Nancy, and
We
we
are
are
on
on
the
the
needles.
needles.
This is our first podcast, and we're so excited to be with you from Spokane, Washington. Nancy and I have been knitting together for, I wrote it down,
Oh,
like 11 years or something crazy like that. And I am a knitting professional, I guess you could say. Both of us are. I do blogging for Interweave and do some other work for yarn shops around the region.
and I am the dyer behind Trilogy Yarns, so I will, of course, be shamelessly plugging my yarns at the end of each video, show you what's new, what's going on in the shop. And we're wearing masks
Yeah.
because we are in the middle of COVID, guys. This is real.
What a time to start a podcast, right?
Our numbers here are increasing so much. We had our biggest day yesterday was like 91 new cases. Some of you that live in big cities think, well, that's not very much.
Right.
But
It's a lot here for
yeah.
Spokane. What are we, like 500,000 or something?
I don't think that many.
No,
I
not
don't
that
think
many.
that many.
Yeah,
So anyway,
maybe that's the
it's
whole
crazy.
region. Yeah.
So anyway, first podcast. Struggle is real, guys. We're probably nervous. It's a good thing you can't see our knees knocking. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about things that we finished, things we're working on, maybe some dream knitting, some favorites, and, whatever else comes on. So let's jump in.
All right. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So my latest thing that I finished is this Dissent sweater by Andrea Rangel. And it is from Kelbourne Woolens Perennial yarn, which is a light fingering. So this sucker, I knitted on twos, which was an adventure. And I have a tag that I want to put on it that actually Nancy gave me, and now I can. Oh, here it is. Because it's the Dissent sweater, which you guys probably know. It's in honor of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's collar that she wears on her robe when she writes a Dissent. And so Nancy gave me this tag that says, hand knit, we did not vote for him. And then it has some care things on the back, and it says, we're sorry that our president is an idiot. So I thought it would be perfect for the Dissent sweater.
So how many thumbs down are we going to get from this?
I don't know, and I don't care.
I don't care.
And then this was kind of a aspirational knit for me. It's the Flying Foxtail by Stephen West. And it is so pretty, and I'm not a brioche expert by any means. I've knit like 2 things in brioche. But our friend Carmen, who's in our knit group, taught a class on this, and it is just so beautiful. I used loops, and I'll probably wear it like, you know how you can style these so many different ways, but I'll probably do this so the pretty part shows. But it's loops Siberian sock, and there's some cashmere in it, and it's just beautiful. And I don't think loops is dying anymore.
No,
is she?
She's just recently closed down.
Yeah.
So, fun fact about the Flying Foxtails, I did one also, and I was pretty close to the bottom. So, as you go onto it, each row gets longer and longer. And I'm one of these knitters that I don't think I even own a 32-inch circular. So everything is on short cables. That's how I roll. So I'm pushing the stitches down the cable, and the cable broke.
Oh gosh.
And I think I lost about 300 stitches, brioche stitches. So I gently put it on the floor. I may or may not have said a few choice words, and went and got a size 1 needle and picked it all back, and was able to, I learned really quick how to pick up dropped brioche stitches, but was able to salvage it.
That's amazing. I had to have, you can't really see, but I had to have lifelines. I put a lifeline in like every, around the middle of every section, every repeat. And each one of these is a repeat. So I didn't trust myself. I would have had to pull out the whole thing because I'm not brioche savvy.
Oh, but you did a great job.
But I love it. And then this is called Waving from Our Windows.
Look at that stitch.
And it is a slip stitch colorwork cowl that we did with Chris at the Knit the Studio, which is our local yarn shop here. And that's where Nancy and I knit. We used to knit there every Tuesday, and now we knit on Zoom every Tuesday. So this is a really fun stitch. It's a slip stitch, and then you purl these little windows. And so I was a little bit worried because I wasn't sure if my yarn had enough contrast. But so some of the windows aren't as bright as others. But my wife Mimi said, she's also a knitter and knits with us. She said those windows are dark because those are the essential workers, and they're out doing their jobs to help people. So now it means even more. And this is Nancy's fabulous yarn. This is your DK.
Correct. My Merino Cashmere nylon.
Yeah, it's so Trilogy Yarns DK, and it is, the darker is navy. Is that right? Denim. Denim. And the lighter is Midnight Cowboy. So I have quite a bit of the Midnight Cowboy left because you use mostly the main color, the denim. And then we found at one of our retreats, Nancy brought in a huge thing of yarn and said, everyone can take some. And it was, I think it was your minis. And so I got two, she let us take two, and I got two Midnight Cowboys, and then I bought a kind of cream one to go with it. So we're going to have to figure out something for me to do with that. Because I have a lot of the Midnight Cowboy left over, which I love. So, and just to let you guys know, all of this, I'm going to do pretty detailed show notes because that's my jam, detailed stuff. And we're going to have a Ravelry group, and I will put show notes there and also below the video.
Yes, the little down bar there.
Yep.
So, and that's, did we say that's where you can find all the deets about us?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I'm going to tell you right up front, I am horrible at Ravelry. I haven't put a project up for probably 13 years. I don't do it. I use Ravelry a lot for inspiration, but I may try to get better. Right now, I don't know. So I'm being honest.
That's all right. Everyone does their own thing. I, however, am good at Ravelry.
Yes.
I post all my projects. So that's how we decided that I would do the show notes, because I'm kind of
yeah. Well, and that's her thing.
So
great.
So what are you?
So is that it?
That's it for me today.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, first up, I have a pair of socks. I am a sock knitter. I love wearing hand knit socks. I love making hand knit socks. I am of team 9-inch circular.
I'm team Magic Loop.
Yeah, team Magic Loop. I do all of my socks toe up. I do it's the figure 8 cast on. So I start toe up and I start on Magic Loop. And when I get to 64 stitches, I use a size, a US 1. Sorry, I don't know what millimeter that is. Knit till I get to the heel. I do the Fish Lips Kiss heel, my favorite heel.
And I think that's available on Ravelry for like $1.
It's $1, guys. Yeah. And if you don't like the bulk of the gusset stitches and stuff, which I have no problem with, I just think the Fish Lips Kiss fits me better. Great heel. I mean, she walks you through everything.
Totally worth more than $1, don't you think?
Yeah. And then I just knit up the leg. I do a 2x2 rib. I just do a very loose bind off.
Do you just do a regular bind off?
I do a regular. Well, I do a knit through together through the back loop.
Knit two together through the back loop.
And
yeah,
then
that's a good one for socks. Yeah.
And then I just make sure it's real big, real loose. And this was made out of Desert Vista Dye Works. colorway is Bond. James Bond, the spy who loved me. This was my first adventure with Desert Vista. I hope that's not upside down.
I think it just looks like it is.
You guys, I loved it. This was gifted to me by Michelle and Leslie of the Naughty Knitwits. Thank you guys if you're watching. I don't know. I think I drank the Kool-Aid. I may have to get more.
You love it, huh?
I love it. It's so nice.
Well, the stripes are
Aren't the
perfect.
stripes fun?
Did it come in 2 balls?
No.
Or it just worked out that way?
I made sure I started.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay.
And I'm not one of these that the stripes don't match. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Me neither. But look at how that matches. I mean, they're
awesome.
Totally great.
Okay. Next is
this is one of my favorites, you guys.
This is called Glass Houses, and this is by Callie Monster. This is such a fun shawl. It is a mosaic slip stitch. So if you've never done color work, this is a great introduction to doing something that looks like a color work, but you're only ever knitting with one color at a time. The yarn I used, this is Trilogy Yarn in my Glamorous base, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So the blue is denim, the gold is whiskey. So that is Glass Houses. Just a fun cowl. Oh, the next thing I have is the Fern and Feather Sweater by Jennifer Steingass.
So pretty.
With COVID going on, you guys, I was able to kick out a bunch of sweaters.
And she is fast as lightning.
Well, not as lightning, but I wish I was. But anyway, Jennifer Steingass, Fern and Feather. The purple is shepherd's wool that I bought at Chris, our Knit at the Studio, our local yarn shop. And then the color work is just a variegated that I had in my stash, and I just thought, well, that would be kind of fun. You know, it doesn't have a lot of contrast, but
it goes
I think
so well with that.
Yeah,
and I love knitting color work like that with variegated yarn. We call it faux isle, F-A-U-X, and it's so much. I don't know. For me, it's so easy, and the yarn does all the work for you.
You don't have all these ends to weave in.
Right.
And last, I got on the Love Note wagon by Tin Can Knits. This is Love Notes. This was done using Trilogy yarn in the straw flowers. I used the Merino Cashmere nylon, and which is my Plush base, and the Fluff base, which is my merino or mohair silk. Sad but true story, I haven't blocked it. I've worn it twice. You guys, it's enormous. It has grown so much.
What did you knit it on, the 10.5?
The 10.5. Yeah. I am not going to block it because it'll be a dress that I'll have to belt. So
it's like a regular length. How long is it?
It's, well, I did not make it regular length. I made it a little bit longer than a crop, but it has just grown. I mean, the sleeves were 3/4 length sleeves. They're almost full length sleeves now. So, I'm not going to rip it out because you don't want to rip out mohair. I may use it for a shop sample, and maybe I can gift it to somebody. So,
it's so beautiful.
So those are my finished objects. I mean, obviously I have a gazillion more because you've never seen our objects before, but we thought we'd just start with a few.
Yeah, kind of the recent favorites.
Yes.
Well, should we go to on the needles?
Yes.
All right.
And I'm going to take the mask up, get a sip of my iced coffee.
We're also big coffee lovers. Big.
We are wearing masks. I don't know because of COVID, but we don't live together. We both are see frequently some high-risk mothers, so we're just trying to. So someday you'll see our faces.
Just important to keep each other safe because we love each other.
Yes, and it is mandatory here anyway.
Yes,
masks are mandatory.
Right. So I am working on a couple things here. I've got this Barley Hat, which is a Tin Can Knits hat. Can I get the color?
That's pretty.
In there? It's,
oh, there you
this
go.
is a Madeline Tosh vintage. And I don't know if you can see it exactly right, but it's got some specks of red and turquoise and purple on a dark gray, kind of a smoky gray base. And this, I knit actually a sweater out of this. I got it in that big Madeline Tosh sale before they went, became part of Jimmy Bean's. So I had a skein left, so I thought I would make this cute hat. And this Tin Can Knits, I'm a big fan of theirs. They have really well done patterns, and they're the Love Note designers too, and so their patterns are very well written, and they are very size inclusive, which is important to us. And they are this Barley Hat, I believe, is free.
It's a free hat.
Yeah. And so there's a ton of different projects on Ravelry. It's kind of fun to look through and see what people have used.
And first time sweater knitters, if nobody's ever knit a sweater and wants to get into garment knitting, the Flax by Tin Can Knits is a very good first sweater project. Yes.
So this is on the needles. And then what I'm working on right now is Joji Locatelli's Super Simple Summer Sweater. And I'm knitting the Super Simple Winter Sweater because I'm knitting it out of Woolfolk Far, which is a merino. And my colors are this gold and sage green. And I don't know what, I'm not familiar with the yarn that Joji used for this. It is, I'm not super organized with this. It is something I haven't heard of, and it's like a cotton mix. Oh, here we go. So my mask is falling off. It is Mungo by Rosa Pomar, and I have never seen that yarn before. So it's a 50% wool, 50% cotton, and she says, or worsted weight in 2 different colorways, and she recommends a US 6 to get a gauge of 17.5 stitches to the inch. I'm on a 9, and I'm almost getting that gauge. I think when I wash and block it, I'll be fine. But I don't know what the deal is with that yarn. It must be really thick, or, you know, thicker than a worsted. So anyway, she wants you to knit it on 6s and 3s for the ribbing and stuff, and I'm on 9s, and then I'll use 6s for the ribbing. And my gauge is probably about 18.5 to 4 inches, 18.5 stitches to 4 inches. So I'm gonna have to do some fiddling with the and I'm doing the XL. Normally I would do the L, but I'm doing the XL, and it's a recommended ease of 6 to 9 inches. So I went up a size. So I don't normally do a lot of ease because I'm only 5'2", and these boxy things aren't the cutest on me. So anyway, we'll see. Keep you posted on that one. But this Woolfolk Far, Chris just started carrying this, and I think we're the only shop she's the only shop in Spokane that carries it, and it is a dream. It is like butter.
I went out to get some for a sweater, and I waited too long. There wasn't enough of any colorway, and the colorway I liked, she said she probably wouldn't be getting in till fall, September, October. So.
All right.
Snooze or lose.
Is that it? Snooze or lose. Well, that's all I brought for today. I have to save some stuff up for I have what we all joke cast-on-itis. So I have probably, what did we say, like 5 or 6 sweaters on the needles, and then I've got something here I'll show you when we talk about our what's coming up to be cast on. So,
and I, unlike Kathleen, have always been pretty monogamous with my knitting. But you guys, a week and a half ago, I cast on like 4 sweaters. So Yeah.
Why did you do that? You just liked them?
I don't know. I think I was bored.
Yeah.
I was just doing stockinette in the round on a sweater, and I was bored.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay,
That is true. I mean, we like to have, like, at least I do, like a challenging sweater, like a cable or a, you know, you're not supposed to touch your mask, but this thing doesn't want to stand. A cable or a texture, you know, whatever. And I like to have like TV knitting, something easy. Although we watched Hamilton last night and I couldn't even knit. It was
so awesome.
Incredible.
Yes.
So I feel so lucky to have seen it with the original cast. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then I like to have like a little, like something I can take in the car.
Car knitting, a sock or a hat.
Right.
Okay, so let's see what I have got.
I love that bag.
That's I got this at Knit and Coeur d'Alene. Isn't that cute? My little towel bag.
That is so cute.
Yeah, and
what is it? Do you know who it is?
I don't.
It doesn't even have a tag.
Doesn't even
we'll have to find out because that's adorable.
So in this bag, is the Beekeeper cardigan. This is one of my new casts on. This is a pay pattern, and let me see.
Was that one of those like 4-day knit alongs?
This was, yeah. This is an Olive Knits. I did the 4-day knit along 2 years ago. Was a cardigan. So this is just yarn I pulled out of my stash. I went to a yarn store once, and this lady was closing down, and all her yarns were half off. So I picked up some sweater quantities of yarns. This is Ella Ray, the Cozy Soft. It is a 75 acrylic, 25 wool. I've already done a sweater out of this yarn. It was in a navy blue color. I absolutely love it. In fact, it's one I finished not too long ago. It's my go-to cardigan right now when I'm early in the morning or if I have to run out.
And it's like a red, like a Christmas.
Yeah,
it's coming a little orange. It looks a little orange to me on the screen.
Quite red.
It is very beautiful.
So it is a reverse stockinette, and I've only got the first part of the yoke done, and I'm getting ready to start the little bees. So I was gonna wait until I had some quiet time so I could figure out the pattern, but I am very excited to get this done. So that is project number 1.
And I just want to say something about this blend of yarn, because I love this blend. When it's 75 acrylic or nylon or whatever with 25% wool, like Lion Brand Woolies and Encore are the same. And it definitely has its place. It stands up forever. It's, and it's nice. All 3 of those I think feel really good. And I think I consider myself a yarn snob, but I totally appreciate those yarns, and they're more affordable for people.
I've used both of them. Yeah. All right, project number 2. Okay, so I have to get my book. This is in the last issue of Lane that they produced, number 9. It's the autumn and winter 2019, and I am doing, I think it's Moiki sweater.
Oh man!
So it's just a very simple. It is a pullover. It's got the split sides, and then it's got. It's not brioche down the side, but it's like the fisherman rib. So it's got the detail there, and then it's got the detail on the raglans. So I was going to go out and buy the new Woolfolk at the studio for that, but of course I got there too late. So what I did get was Blue Sky Fibers wool stock in the color Deep Velvet.
That's beautiful.
And it's just a really deep burgundy with like a navy blue thread running through it. I wish you guys could see that color.
Since we have to be outside, our lighting's not as
Yes.
perfect as we want
Hopefully
it to
by the
be.
time the weather turns and we have to start doing this inside, we'll be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I am doing that on a size 7, I believe. I am a very bad knitter. I don't swatch unless I am switching weights of yarn, and then I'll swatch.
I swatch.
Yeah.
I swatch. That's one of our complementary differences.
I've been knitting for, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I have been knitting for close to probably 53, 54 years. So
you know.
So I kind of know. And I tell people when I started knitting, you had Windtuck, Orlon. I don't even think Red Heart was around. And then there was some horrid wool that you couldn't even hold to knit with. So
it was so scratchy.
Oh my gosh, it was horrible. So I have to admit, I'm really loving some of these protein fibers and stuff. Oh, and speaking of fibers, is it this one?
Nancy has more bags than I've ever seen, but you accumulate stuff.
Yeah. So this is awesome. So this is the Rocket Tea by Tanis Fiber Arts. And
That's so cool.
It's called for a fingering and a mohair. And you do not carry the mohair with it. You do stripes of the fingering, stripes of the mohair. I just wanted a real simple summer tea. I like this. I probably may do it with the mohair, maybe more of a 3/4 length sleeve, so it's I can wear it more.
Mohair doesn't say summer to me.
Well,
right?
no, yeah. So okay, you guys, this yarn is amazing. I was doing the first trunk show I've been able to do since COVID in Idaho about 3 weeks ago, and Liz, who is Chris's niece, who owns the studio where we knit, we're keeping it all in the family. She had this yarn. It's Pop Cycle Haiku by Skassel, and it is 50% polyester from recycled bottles and 50% bamboo. This yarn is so cool, made from recycled bottles. It has got that.
Oh, we got a cat in a tree.
The cat almost fell out of the tree. Oh yeah, this is real, guys. Yeah. So
you have made tracks on that.
Yeah, I'm just about ready to do the bind off.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that feels so good. Total summer,
summer. It calls for an I-cord bind off. I have done I-cord bind offs in the past. I think they roll. I just want something. So I'm kind of at a stopping point. I'm not going to do rib.
Raglan sleeve detail here. Yes. That's really pretty.
And then you pick up and do an I-cord bind off around the neck, and I will do that.
Oh yeah, that'll look nice.
I'm thinking I might just do a garter.
You could do like a couple, just like 3 or 4 rows of ribbing, just a really short.
Well, or a garter, or just just a garter edge on it. And then I'll pick up and do the sleeves. So anyway, this is out of recycled water bottles. I love it. The Rocket Tea by Tanis Fiber Arts, and I have one more. So this one is our friend Carmen, and you're going to hear us talk about our knitting buddies from time to time. But our friend Carmen, who's been knitting for maybe 6-7 years.
That long. Well, since 2009.
Yeah, so 11 years. She is a phenomenal knitter, and I've never seen her stash. I think it's quite large.
It's not.
Oh, it's not?
No, she is like very. She buys the yarn and then uses it. Okay. Yeah, she has a small stash, not anything like ours.
Well, she was having a birthday, and so she brought a bunch of yarn out one time when we were having our knit night. And is that a Harry Potter birthday?
Hobbit birthday,
Hobbit
where you
birthday.
give stuff away. Yeah.
So she said, everybody take something. So I grabbed a sweater's quantity of this Rowan Lima color, and it's like a chain ply.
That's such a beautiful yarn. Do they make that anymore?
I don't know. Look at the colors, guys. It's like blue and green, Seahawks colors.
Yeah. It's like a teal, turquoise.
Yeah, and it's really
lime,
soft.
even all kinds of colors in there.
So I am doing The Weekender by Andrea Mallory, and so it's very simple, just kind of an oversized sweater. It does have the detail on the shoulders, and it's done reverse stockinette with a ridge, a little knit stitch ridge that goes up the middle of the front and up the middle of the back. So I am just about ready to separate for the armholes, and we'll get through with that. So
I haven't knit the Weekender yet. I'm going to have to pull out my worsted weights. It's worsted, right?
Yeah. It is worsted.
Worsted weight stash and see what I got.
So that is what I've got going on the needles.
So I thought I would bring something that's not yet cast on. I am going to, I mean, this is just ridiculous for me to do because I have so many projects going, but years ago, probably 10 years ago, I bought this pattern and yarn at a place called Cereal Knitters in Kirkland, which we just heard is closing their storefront.
Oh, so, and I did trunk shows over there with Deb and the staff, and such a fun place to be. It breaks my heart.
Wonderful place, and they're gonna stay online. So Cereal Knitters, and yeah, and we then also Church Mouse. Devastated. I'm devastated that they're closing their.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I did not hear.
Big news. Yeah.
Oh.
So they're closing their storefront, and in Bainbridge Island, Washington, the most darling little town, and they're also going to stay online. Yes, they had teas, they had
the yarn,
they'll still have all that kind of stuff, but online.
You know, this being closed down,
it is really devastating.
A lot of people.
It really is, and just wear your mask and
wash your hands.
Wash your hands, wear your mask. Maybe we can make a difference. Yeah, that's what we're hoping. So at any rate, I bought this when Stephen West was first kind of starting. I bought this clockwork pattern, and I bought yarn for it as well. These two colors, and this is Frolicking Feet. I mean, you can see how old it's been rattling around in my stash. It's not.
Does it have a date on it?
I don't. Does
it?
A
production date?
I don't know. But this color is khaki knits, and this color is blue jeans. And so I think I'm going to do blue jeans as the main color.
It's gorgeous.
And the khaki knits as the kind of the center parts. Or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I'll swatch it. But this is my there's a West along
colors.
Yeah, isn't that pretty?
It's very pretty.
So Frolicking Feet by I can't even see this.
Done Roving Yarns.
Done Roving Yarns, and it's 100% superwash merino. So
gorgeous.
That's going to be cast on. I'm going to do that West along that Tracy and Jody from Grocery Girls are doing. And I have to say, I love Stephen West. I love his designs are just incredible and creative, but I'm not a person who wears a huge shawl.
I was going to say they're so big.
Yeah. And I've heard them called schlankets. And that I'm just too short. I have no neck. I mean, I can't carry that up. So, this to me seems a good size. Okay, and then I have a couple of things. Do you want to say what did you bring something that's coming up for you?
I did.
Or do you have enough cast on already?
No, this is when I was doing my cast on party, I had this one ready to go too, but I didn't cast it on. I have to finish one sweater first. Another Tanis Fiber Arts City Limits. I'm sure that a lot of you have seen it. It's just a a fade, and it's done out of fingering, so it's a marled fade. So you use your fade. I'll show you what colors I'm going to do it in. But you do your fades, and then you carry a solid color and a mohair. Sorry, I've got stuff. We have the famous Midnight Cowboy, one of them. And okay, so this is
You want me to hold two of them?
Sure. So this is my fade. I'm going to start with the light. We have Midnight Cowboy, Poison, Aurora Borealis, and Bad Boy Blue. So I'm going to fade that along with a strand of the Stormy Weather and the Stormy Weather and the mohair, my fluff base. So it's going to be a fun sweater.
That's gorgeous. I love that.
So that is my next cast on when
I think those marled fades work better to me.
Yeah.
Than the fading it in, because I always end up with stripes. Maybe I'm just choosing the wrong colors to do the fade. I don't know.
And I have done a couple sweaters carrying my fluff, the mohair silk along. I have got to have the most sensitive skin out there, and I'm very concerned about knitting with some wools. I have surprised myself. They're fine. The fluff does not bother me at all. There's enough silk in it, and if I'm carrying it with another yarn, it's very soft. So
it's
I love it.
72 kid mohair, 28% silk, and it is really soft.
It is soft.
Yeah.
Yes. So that
and I think it's like got long enough for me. It's like the prickly,
mm-hmm.
and these are kind of
pretty long.
The mohair is longer, and I really like that.
Yes. So future knitting, if I finish a project.
You're limiting yourself.
Silly, I know.
I know. So I got a couple of new. Mimi and I went to the online Vogue Knitting. We actually went twice because it was so much fun, and they had one scheduled for Seattle, which we were all going to go to.
And I was vending there, my first big vend. So
we were so excited for Nancy, but hopefully it'll come again. So they had vendors there that you could go to their virtual shops. Well, they weren't you go their real shops and just on Zoom, and they would kind of walk you around. And this is from Modern Daily Knitting, which used to be Mason Dixon Knitting, and they changed their name recently, which is wonderful. And this is totally true for me. My other bag is also full of yarn, but it should be bags because I have a problem. And then I got this cool bag from Lady Dye Yarns, which is a Black woman-owned business. She's an indie dyer, and she has a lot of super cool merch and very worthy causes that she supports and donates to. And if you're not familiar with her, LadyDyeYarns.com. And this is perfect for me because if you don't know me, you will soon, and you'll know that I am very passionate about my causes, and I say what I think, and I am a salty crafter. So I love this. And I like how deep it is. A lot of these bags are they stop like here, and I like the depth of this. So those are my two new cool things that I love. I also, I guess I don't have it here, so we'll save it for next time. Whoops. I'm going to break Nancy's glass table. So that's it for me.
Okay, well, now we come into the shameless plug of my shop. a little bit about me. I have been dyeing yarn for 2 years, just starting my third. I had lost my husband and had to figure out what I was going to do for income. I'm raising grandchildren due to the loss of my daughter. So I thought, well, I've always been a crafter, and my husband and I did dabble a little bit in yarn dyeing. I had taught him to knit when he became ill, and that was fun. So I thought, okay, I'm going to dye yarn. So I just started playing, and you know, guys, like any craft we do, you stick your toe in, next thing you know, you're treading water. So I started up Trilogy Yarns, doing the local farmers markets, did a few not craft fairs, trunk shows, and built an Etsy page. But I wasn't happy with Etsy, and I'm not going to go into that. So I thought, okay, I need a web page. Well, my background is in medicine. Currently, I work for our school system. I know nothing about web design. So, got locked down for COVID. I have one of my granddaughters is back from college because they all had to come home. I said, we're going to do a web page. So, out of that was born TrilogyYarn.com. So, every podcast we do, I will show you what's new in the shop. And I do want to say I have several kits listed in the shop. If there's a picture of a garment shown with the kit, then the kit does include the pattern. I will gift you the pattern through Ravelry with the purchase of a kit. All right, so I have started playing with minis, gradient mini skeins. I have them in my, this is my sport weight, 100% superwash merino. And I also have in my Glamorous base, which is an 80-20 blend. So these are listed in the shop, kind of fun to do minis. And I'll show you a couple new colorways. This first one is Unicorn Farts. It is available on all my bases. I brought it, I'm showing you here in my Plush base, which is a merino cashmere nylon. My Razzle Dazzle base. These are all fingering. Sorry, the mask is fun. Razzle Dazzle, so it does have the silver stellina in it. Yeah. It's on my Fluff base, the mohair silk base. And also on my singles base, which is a single ply merino silk. This is such an awesome base, great for doing shawls with. It just, with the single ply, it's got the beautiful drape, and with the silk, you get that sheen. So that is Unicorn Farts.
I love that name. Mimi is dying for that. She's like, I gotta have it.
Gotta have it. The next one is Plumage. So it's turquoise, blues, purples, peacocky colors. Yeah, so here it is on the stellina base. This is the single ply mohair silk. And then I have it on the merino cashmere nylon. There's the turquoise colors kind of hiding in there. Just got to find the camera. And on the Fluff. So that is Plumage. And the last one is Jovial. And I just brought this up on 3 bases, the mohair silk, my Razzle Dazzle, which is the stellina, and my Glamorous base, which is 80-20 superwash merino, 20% nylon. One other quick thing I wanted to say, I've got 2 advent calendars going, guys. The Christmas advent is going to include pattern support. There'll be at least 2 patterns, if not 3. And then I am doing a Halloween advent based on the movie Hocus Pocus. That is 12 days of minis, and than a 100-gram skein for Halloween.
That is so fun.
So,
I love it.
just
Hocus pocus. That's
Hocus
the best.
pocus. So
And
anyway,
also
just
your sock
shameless.
club.
Yes, I do have the Princess Bride Sock Club going on. It's a 3-month subscription. It will be an ongoing. So last month was the first month I sent shipment out for July. But if you want to join in August, it's still 3 months for you. I will always include a pattern. Last month's pattern was Hello Sunshine by Tracy Miller of the Grocery Girls. So with each purchase, you will be gifted a downloadable code on Ravelry for a pattern that you may or may not want to use. And you don't have to do socks with the Sock Club. You can do cowls, you can do hats. You can do a hat out of the 100-gram skein, save the mini skein for any scrappy project. So
I just want to hold up some unicorn farts while I'm talking. So I think that's it for us.
I think so. We were trying to keep it short. We're at 45 minutes. Hopefully
not too bad.
There won't be too much editing. Maybe when the cat almost falls out of the tree.
But you know, that's
we might leave that slide.
He's fine.
Leave
He's
that
fine.
in.
But we just are so happy to be here, coming to you from Nancy's backyard in Spokane, Washington, to share our love of knitting and yarn. And I don't know, both of us have gone through times where knitting has been our lifeline. And I recently wrote a blog for Interweave about the relationships that have come to me through knitting. And I met my wife at a yarn shop, and I mean, that's probably my most significant relationship through knitting. But all of these dear friends that we've made through the craft, and it's just so important in our lives, and we're glad to have you with us, sharing it and talking about it and loving it along with us.
First podcast, rookie mistake. I just looked down and the microphone is not plugged in.
Oh, well, here's hoping. Here's
I'm hoping that we got enough volume, guys.
Yeah, we're pretty close, so we'll see.
Otherwise, there may be subtitles.
It's a work in progress.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. We'll see you again, maybe
once a month to start, do you think? Or every
twice,
2 weeks?
Maybe every 2 weeks. You know, let us know in the comments. Be sure and subscribe and like if you're interested. Just know we're starting out. We'll get better.
Yep.
So
yes. Well, give us a chance, and we'll be here for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Bye bye.